No time at all. We're going to go into the second game of this evening. Kings Row taking that first game comfortably, but we'll see what happens in game 2. One more game for V.Beast to try and stay in proceedings this evening. Looks like everything's okay stream-wise, so let's get into the game proper. Certainly, it was a pretty tough game for V.Beast last time. We'll see what happens around this level 1 fight, which was so explosive last time around. Dream has got the positioning on it. Can they press him out? It's going to be very tight. And they do... No, they do manage to secure it. That's massive for them. And this time, they're able to drive them away. Jace getting the first blood. Can they take a second as well? It's going to be very tight. They do! What a great start for V.Beast in this game, who struggled so hard last time around. This time, they managed to get the regen on Jace, get him those levels, get him those skills, able to pump through an enormous amount of damage, and we again see the danger of committing so hard to that central point when it's so unreliable that you actually get hold of the relic. Still, this particular time, the coin flip going in V.Beast flavor. They're going to be able to take away those jungle camps as well, as we see a return to roughly normal service between these teams. Jace heading back to the lane. And yeah, what a great start for V.Beast. Presumably, this early advantage will be attempted to be snowballed into a bigger one. I mean, they've got the positioning in on the mid side. They're putting those relics across onto Jace. Presumably, they're looking to try and make some more of this. We'll keep an eye on what Jace is doing, backing up as it looks like. And oh, now we start to see what V.Beast are going to go and try and do. They're going to try and take away those big jungle camps. Pyrex the ones to actually end up taking that in the end, but you have to imagine we're going to see Tyson putting his attention as far as possible onto Jason that page, making sure they stay alive, keep pumping out damage. Tobias is the pickup for Kings Row, which we haven't seen before. Certainly hyper mobile, hyper hard to deal with his ultimate keeping him alive for a little bit longer. It's very dangerous to get into close fights with, but for probably what will not be the last time this evening, we see Jace caught up by that Cyclone, and that's got to be a big part of Kings Row's strategy. With that Cyclone in the pocket, as soon as a fight starts, you have to think that Jace is going to get knocked up. And if they put too much emphasis on this page, and they get Cyclone out of the fight, that's going to be disastrous for them. Still, let's have a quick tear through and see how many. It's only that one Cyclone on the Owen for Kings Row, so we'll see if that is the case. I believe there's a fight breakout in the top side. Pyrex getting chewed down, of course, early on in the game. He's still not that tanky as of yet. And if you can actually, guys, I know if you play Pyrex, if you can get his back turned to his opponent, or at least his sides, gets a big damage reduction. Can be very hard to put down, especially with that Owen healing up, as both teams have chosen to do in this game. Been a very successful strategy for a lot of teams so far. Don't getting caught. There's again the Cyclone coming down, trying to cut out some of that aggression. But Jace able to stay at least on full life so far, has that big level advantage, the highest level in the game. And we're going to be seeing another relic coming up. Of course, as expected, it's going to go across onto that Jace. It's going to be another power relic, which means Jace is going to hit all the harder, but not going to help too much if Jace does get caught out, which I have to imagine Kings Row will be looking to try and make a priority of doing. Still, with Pyrex on both teams, they've got the pretty strong front lines. Jace, though, going in pretty deep. He's going to try and take away this Tiger. This is a little bit risky, but his teammates are there to try and cover him. That's going to give him another bunch of attack damage. Give him that level as well. Keeping a level ahead of his lane opponent on the Tobias. Thus far, hasn't managed to use the mobility, the multiple dashes that Tobias has. Can be able to stack up to 3 of them to really punish Jace so far. I think a little bit afraid of her damage, but Kings Row need to find a way to deal with the Jace, Jace's damage. As we see another fight breaking out. Owen is very low on mana, but Dream is very low on health. He's going to take a huge amount of harass from the page, who's able to just keep pounding that damage through. Still, has picked up that attack speed and lifesteal item. Going to allow her to stay in lane for just a little bit longer. She's going around taking away all these jungle camps, building up more and more gold. With all that power, being able to go through the jungle camps at record speed. And at Tobias, wow, that damage is crazy. Really nice work so far by Jace. Up on the top side, we're seeing another brawl breaking out. Cyclone being dropped onto Owen, maybe a little bit prematurely. I think they were trying to bring in Jace to provide some extra damage. Wasn't quite able to get there in time. So they weren't able to finish off that kill. We'll see what happens with this next relic. It looks like they're still going to have V.Beast still have positioning over it, but they're going to give across the Pyrex, trying to make sure he gets up to be that a little bit more tanky will be. Otherwise, Owen's going to be chased out. Tyson on the back foot for a moment, but let's keep an eye out for Jace, who's trying to chase her late opponent all the way back into the base. This is a very dicey place to be recalling from, but he does manage it. They're not able to respond in time. Such high safety on the Tobias, able to just dash and dash and dash, and also knock away the opponents, making him very, very slippery. Speaking of, Jace gets punted back. If they can punt into another member of the opposing team, that stun's going to be considerably longer. And again, Jace comes up the top side, trying to give a little bit of an advantage over to her teammates, but not able to quite get there in time. So for the moment, happy to just pressure down this bottom side, looking to see if there's any other objectives. There's going to be another relic coming up very shortly. This time, it's going to be Jace taking it across. We can look at the big giant map version. As Jace is almost single-handedly driving out King's Row. They're really struggling with her so far. And again, the jungle camp's going across to her as well. They're trying to pump as much money as possible into Paige, but this may be a problem. She's going to get caught. She can't get away. And there we go. Finally, Vu Song Kao able to punish the relative immobility of that Paige, at least compared to Tobias, and is now going to be able to pound down that tower. This could be a disaster for V.Beast, losing that so fast, even with so much work being done by Jace. But this Tobias, again, so hard to actually ever nail him down, even with that such low mana. Still, despite losing that advantage, I mean, the pushing power that the Tobias is able to apply is certainly very significant. I think we might see some kind of team fights breaking out very shortly. I think we did see a Kang pick up a regen, get another level. I mean, certainly, at this point, it's actually Tobias who's got the level lead in the game for King's Row. He's been able to spend a little bit more time getting some money in his pocket. But other than that, pretty similar across the board. Certainly, if they can't find a way to keep using that Tobias mobility like they did previously, locking down Jace, who goes down pretty low, but sorry, I misspoke. The Tobias went down pretty low, and Jace. Well, I mean, as we're seeing here, Jace so powerful on the page. Tobias really, King's Row's only realistic option of getting access to her, but that might be about to happen if we do see Tobias sneaking around the back, looking to try and get a flank onto them, gain access to the squishy underbelly, or maybe just waiting for minions. Oh, okay, no, just the jungle to spawn. This might be a mistake, though, if a teamfight does break out. Doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. Jace falling off to the side. But I think this is what Vu Song Kao was waiting for. The minions have come in, and given enough time and opportunity, he's going to be able to press down and get the barracks, but he's been foiled by his old nemesis, Jace, taking out those lane minions, and it's going to take away that tiger in record time. Goes down very swiftly. Whew. Tobias almost steals it. Jace, in a bit of a dodgy situation, has to use that mana shield very effective to stop the punt, trying to stutter step away. Teammates just a little bit too late to the party, and exactly what King's Row needed. Able to take out the main member of V.Beast. Didn't have the support of the teammates, and now Vu Song Kao is going to do what he does so well and take away another tower in very quick form. It's going down so fast, and again, they're too late to be able to do anything about it at all. Nice punt into the wall. Tobias is also going to pick up a level for his troubles, putting him 2 levels into the lead. He's been incredibly significant so far for Kings Row as far as their control of the map goes. What looked to be something that could get out of control for them very quickly has been kept in check, but Paige still a huge damage threat. So far, both times he's been caught out with that teammates. And this might be about to happen again. Whew, for a second. Jace is going to get tethered up, is going to get followed, but this time it's Kings Row who haven't got the team members there to be able to finish the job. Still, Paige is not really being able to make too much of a dent on that Pyrex high. Let's take a quick look at what he's built item-wise. Yep, a lot of resisting that physical attack, which makes sense. Really, the only damage coming out at the moment from V.Beast is physical damage, and Dream with a massive defensive item pickup, it's going to be very, very hard for Jace to be able to deal with. Still not averse to trying, but it's not really getting him anywhere. Let's take a pop up to the top side. So, as you guys know, both turrets being taken away from V.Beast, both our top and bottom turrets, allowing Kings Row access to their jungle, which is exactly what they're doing right now. Going in, looking to see what they can take. Though most of the camps have been taken already, let's keep an eye on this Tobias, who's going to try and chase it on the Page. They're chunking down the tower. And where's the other members of V.Beast? Too late again. Pyrex is there. They're going to try and finish off Tobias, of course, with his ultimate going to stay alive a little bit longer than they perhaps like. He's healing up really fast. They're trying to finish the job. He is just about alive. Ultimate kick in at just the right time, but his teammates may pay the price. His teammates not as mobile as he is. Page chasing right past his Pyrex. They're trying to take down the Owen. They do manage it, but there's no way they can ever really catch this Tobias. But Pyrex could be a different story. But this low damage top lane, not really able to make too much of an impression either way, especially with the healing coming out. Dream is chasing Tyson back to his own turret, and as we've seen in previous games, Pyrex more or less able to do whatever he likes on the tower. But keep an eye out for Paige, who has been crowd controlled again, not with her teammates, and she's gonna get punished for it. It's gonna be a 2 versus 1 Paige. Can she manage to do it? It's gonna be very dicey. Tobias coming from the side, and again, where is the rest of V.Beast? The mana shield, it does come in trying to keep her alive, but she goes down. And again, disastrous for V.Beast, not coordinated as a team. Their Page off by herself, gets deleted, and now they've got nothing they can do about this top side target getting taken down. Tobias comes in at speed. They are putting damage down. Owen is being made to feel very small right now. They can't do any damage with that Page to the Kings Row lineup. The Barracks going to go down as well. There's very little left in this game for V.Beast. The Owen goes down so low, and they've only got the base left standing. They've got 1 fight left in them. Both teams are only taking 3 kills in this game. I presume primarily due to how tanky both Pyrexes are in this game. Taking a lot of damage, and Tobias as well, keeping any fights from really developing into a serious threat of kills being brought across. But it's a little heartbreaking for V.Beast to have had Jace getting caught out of position all these times, and I think basically all of their disadvantages have stemmed off of Kings Row being able to take out Jace on that Page when there's so much riding on Jace's success. Still, it has got some defensive items. We're seeing the Frost Jar being picked up. I think it actually got taken by V.Beast. That's a big pickup for them. It's going to keep the attention of Kings Row for a while, but again, Paige is way away from her teammates. There's no one to help her if they do turn back on her, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen at least this time round. We're seeing a fight breaking out. Again, it's these 2 Pyrex, these 2 Titans going at each other, but neither able to penetrate the other one's thick hide. Defensive item choices, I believe, for both Pyrexes. Yep, and which is going to make them very, very difficult to deal with. But it also means they more or less can't hurt each other. Keep an eye out for Paige in the bottom side. Tobias is lurking there, waiting for a chance to come in and take her out with Wild Abandon. They're trying to keep the minions at bay up on the top side. Those super minions, of course, going to be quite a pain to deal with. And here comes Tobias. He's going to go in. He's going to do a lot of damage. Owen gets taken out very low, but this time Paige is not the focus over their attentions, and this could be massive. Dodge coming out for Tobias. He's going down very, very low. The ultimate's going to kick in shortly, but nice knockback into the base. Tobias is so low, but he does get taken out. That's massive for them, and Paige is still up. She's doing so much damage. Pyrex is able to get away at speed, though. But can they finish it up? They're going to try and turn back. Dream is taken down very, very low. He does get taken out, but the base is being attacked by super minions. Jace is going to have to fall back, but they do manage to win that last team fight. Jace able to fight with his teammates. Able to keep his distance and stop himself from dying. He's got that stun that he's going to be able to apply on his auto attacks. Going to make it a lot easier for him to be able to keep that distance from those he doesn't want to have following him. Tobias, certainly a lot easier to deal with when he's stunned up and not able to use his hypermobility to get stuck in. Ice Giant, ultimately, may not have been that significant, but Paige did take it, and Paige is now the one going to get taken away by Tobias. It's going to chew through, and again, this Paige cannot afford to be without a team. She may have just, with that kill, she may have just taken away even the slimmest chances of V.Beast coming back at this. It's going to be a 20-second death timer. And again, we see the Pyrex slapping at each other. Not going to be able to do any damage. But to be honest, for V.Beast, this is brilliant because King's Row are not pressing into the base, not threatening to end the game quite yet. Which, to be honest, is kind of surprising because Paige, even though has been caught out multiple times from this game, it's been shown to still be a massive damage threat. And if they can get an actual 3v3 fight, rather than having Paige getting caught out and brutally taken to pieces by Tobias, she can do a lot of damage. We'll see what happens though. We're cresting, or we're coming up to the 16-minute mark in this game, an extraordinarily long game. So we're starting to see some really big item purchases coming through. But it's all going to hinge on whether Jace can stay alive. I have to wonder if maybe we should be seeing Owen trying to specifically protect Jace. But there we go. Tobias is going in on the base and he can't be stopped. There's nothing they can do. And again, it's King's Row taking the 2-0 victory over V.Beast. Really, really strong performance. Both teams playing it out so carefully. But a heartbreaker for V.Beast, who did do pretty darn well in that game. Kills were kept to a relative minimum, but they couldn't stop Vu Trunkau on that Tobias from just going through, taking away objective after objective after objective until eventually there were no objectives left. And any time Jace put a foot wrong, destroyed. There was no possible way of getting away from the Tobias. And Jace being the big hope for V.Beast, unfortunately, when they're down, can't do very much helping whatsoever. Still, we're going to be going on to the, I believe it's going to be the finals coming out fairly shortly. We'll, of course, be following King's Row to see if they can make it all the way past the finals to be our champions for this week once more. They certainly did manage it last time, but I believe I'm going to have a quick check and see if we've got an update on the bracket to know who's actually going to be playing them. Certainly going to be one of God Complex Alpha and Imperium Pro Team. I don't think we've got a result for that quite yet, but it'll be one of the two, and we'll be back with the finals as soon as we can.